recording, so I'll bring us in. Big Connor from the Ascension, the Awakening. Thanks for coming on, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me, gentlemen. How's everything over there?
Getting better. It's we're getting better.
Yeah.
Let's just.
I like the little hand gesture there.
We've got our Prime Minister has given us a roadmap out of lockdown, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. But it's getting better. How's it over there?
I mean, it's pretty damn good, honestly. If you look around, I mean, we're pretty much,
Wow.
we're pretty much. I don't complain so much. We're blessed over here in Florida, luckily.
Whereabouts in Florida?
It is St. Petersburg, right around the Tampa Bay area.
Right.
It's a little bit of a petri dish, so they're saying, but with the whole coronavirus thing or whatever. But it's been great here, man. Nothing's, you see what's going on in the world, and truthfully, like, Florida's just been a blessing. Like, we haven't experienced a lot of that craziness, and things have been opened, and we went through a little lockdown period for maybe about 5 months, maybe.
Yeah.
So we've been very lucky, but some people not so fortunate, which really sucks for them, and especially over there. You guys are in the UK, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. I know it's been pretty rough over there for you guys. So my heart's out to you guys for sure on that matter. I can't wait till you guys get back to some normalcy.
Well, I'm counting down as well, because in 3 weeks' time, we do get the pubs reopened, so I can go for beer. So that's...
Oh, man, they took the pubs away from you guys.
Yeah, everything.
That ain't fair, man. That ain't fair. The best thing over there is the pubs, man. That is not cool.
Tell me about it. 3 weeks tomorrow. 3 weeks tomorrow, and I've booked the time off work already.
You're counting down. That's serious right there.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
He knows the last time that he sat in his chair at the pub. He's got his own chair there. Like, he's a regular, so he's got his own chair. And he remembers the last day and time that he sat in his chair. He's that dedicated.
Basically, Connor, if you think I am basically the real-life Norm Peterson from Cheers. So I have my own spot. But yeah. 3 weeks, man. 3 weeks, and I've booked a week off work, so it's worked perfectly.
Are you getting paid time off for that?
Yes.
I was gonna say you deserve it.
Yes, man. Paid time, paid. Oh yeah, all done, all paid.
Nice.
I'm
good
counting
deal.
down. Well, I know before we talk, obviously, like wrestling NXT and things like that. I put this T-shirt on especially. It's my Dusty Rhodes T-shirt. So I wanted to start there because I wanted to just. Obviously, how important Dusty was to your career.
Yeah, Dusty was important to, I think, a lot of people's careers, honestly.
Yeah.
He was, the Dream was heavily involved with a lot of our, not just, helping us find who we were as far as building our persona, but of course with promos. And I mean, with the Dream, he was the greatest, I think, in the business when it came to talking, and he knew how to captivate an audience, and so to have that man in your corner and to learn from that kind of a human being, I mean, who's done so much for this business. I mean, it was an honor, and what was so great about Dream too is, you didn't have to just talk about, wrestling, which, we love wrestling. We all connect because of wrestling, but he was also just a real life human being too.
Yeah.
And, you could talk about life with him. And I loved everything he did, but the best part about Dream, if you got to know him, was talking real life with him. That was the best part about it, So Dream was very important, very influential in a lot of our lives, including some of the stars you see now still. And, it's sad that we don't have him, and it's not fair. But, he's left, I think, a beautiful impression on the wrestling industry,
Yeah, like you said,
Absolutely.
though, the thing about Dream, he was one of the most real people when it came to speaking, and you believed every word that came out of his mouth. And there's a lot of people around who are good talkers, but they don't have that genuine side to them. Whereas Dusty, everything he said, you believed, and I feel like he's passed that on to a lot of people who came into contact with him.
Yeah, and it's cool because a lot of those kids that that he's passed that stuff on, that wealth of knowledge, we still get to see to this day. It's gonna really once those guys are done, it's just who, and you can't really say because there's never going to be another Dream, but who's going to be that guy that speaks like that, who's going to talk like that, who's going to captivate you like that. There ain't very many people that are out there like that these days, like him and Flair and stuff. Just something special about those guys.
Literally, with the Hard Times promo that Dusty did when he was reaching like through the screen to people, it was like he was really coming out of the TV. I've never known that since.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of that was reality of who he was and how he felt, and that's why you believed in it so much, because he believed in it.
Yeah.
And so it drew you in, and you were just like, man, you couldn't get enough of this guy. And then he was, of course, you put him in, some tights and throw him in a ring, and I mean, he was just so charismatic and just, you couldn't take your eyes off him. It didn't even matter, like, even when they threw him in polka dots in the WWE, you know what I mean? He still was captivating.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
No, it didn't. It was he had Sapphire at that one point, and still he made it work, man. He was just a true professional. You could have thrown anything that you didn't think would work or could work at him, and he would have turned it into gold.
Yeah, absolutely. I spoke to George Napolitano a couple of nights ago, and he was telling me a lot of the stories as well. He was telling me a story where he was actually traveling and he went on a night out with Dusty Rhodes and Dick Murdoch and ended up backstage at a Hank Williams Jr. concert. And I was like, I can imagine the stories Dusty must have had to tell.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm just like, how would you live
it's funny because you hear a lot of his stories, man. You don't even know if half the shit's true. You're like, can this be real? Is this real? They're just so good. But with someone like Dream, it's like you would believe it if you knew him. You'd be like, yeah, I could see that happening. But as an audience who doesn't know him, you're like, that sounds pretty damn good. But it's captivating no matter what. You want it to be real, So, and I bet it probably was real.
Oh yeah, it was fascinating when he was telling me. I was like, oh yeah, I was at a show and I got a ride with Dusty and Dick Murdoch, and then next thing I know, I'm backstage meeting Hank Williams Jr. I'm like, oh, that's insane. I'm like, you can't write this stuff, man. You can't write this stuff.
No, no, not at all.
I know. You were part of, obviously, NXT before it, I guess, became what it is now. I mean, what was the beginnings like for you at NXT with the whole, like, redemption, and it was almost like a game show format?
Yeah, I hated it.
Yeah.
Not to bring the mood down or anything or get all serious, because it really is funny when you look back at it. But I don't think anybody was a fan of it that was on that show. It just seemed like it was a rib. But the reality was here's what it did do is that it made you come out of your shell. If you were, kind of a introvert, you had no choice but to come out, because you had to, do stupid shit. like stuff you didn't want to do, right? You had to do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was, so it had its goods and its bads. You never knew what you were going to do, though, the day you went to TV. You would go there, and they would never smarten you up and let you know what was going to happen. So all day long, you were nervous, you were scared, you felt helpless. You weren't sure what was gonna happen. Were you going to look like was it going to be you who looked like an ass that day, or were you going to actually have a match, or You just didn't know. And a great example for me personally was the time that I had Kozlov is my pro, and they did a dance contest, right? It was Oleg was my pro, and then next thing I know, it was me, him versus Jacob Novak, and I forgot who his pro was at the time, JTG.
Yeah.
And and we thought we were going to have a match, and then Matt Striker comes walking out. We were not smartened up to this at all. And Matt Striker came out and said, whoa, hold up, guys. We have just been informed that this match will now turn into a dancing contest.
Oh.
Nobody had a clue that was going to happen. And I remember Oleg was sitting there, goes, oh, shit. And then I'm like, I look at him, I'm like, you're my pro. Like, you're scared. I'm shitting over here, like. And I go, Oleg, I don't know how to dance. And he goes, do not worry. Follow me. I am professional dancer. And I was like, okay. So those were just some of the things that, would happen, and you just didn't know what to expect for the NXT seasons 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s. So I didn't like it. Going back to I did not like it. But it helped me come out of my shell.
It was one of those things as a fan where I didn't enjoy it. I didn't think it was good wrestling, but it was
You didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, no, but I did at the same time. Like, it was so bad you had to watch, and some of you guys made chicken salad out of chicken shit. Like, I don't know how you did it.
Once in a blue moon, you did it, if you were lucky.
It was just so different to anything else they were doing. I watched it and I was like, but yeah, I get what you mean, man. I didn't know it was completely a shoot. Like, you had no idea there was going to be a dance contest. That's crazy.
Yeah, but then next thing you know, see again, you find the good with the bad, because it turned out that, when I go back in, if you ever watch it, it was actually pretty damn good. It was crazy. It worked out. We fell into unison because I was just following Oleg.
I'm adding that to my list of things to watch again now, actually.
Oh, it is so brutal, but it's so good. So, yeah, that was glad once that NXT version decided to kind of dissipate and fade off,
Yeah, because you really did come back, though, like, better than ever. After that, you recovered better than anybody, arguably. Like, on that season you were on, you ended up becoming the longest reigning NXT Tag Team Champions, and went on a hell of a run in NXT, to the point where you started off as heels, but you were almost becoming face because of how over you were. Like, the fans were so into it. What was it like going from that game show NXT to what's now like the current incarnation of NXT?
I mean, first off, you never would have thought NXT was going to turn into that, because, who in their right mind would have thought it was going to be its own brand, right?
Mm.
And you just thought it was just going to be a little pokey rib thing for all the boys from their careers on as they get called up. But, to be a part of the transition was, it was unique. It was special. And it definitely was a high point in my career, because, you see and you hear about, like, the vision that Triple H had and where he wanted to bring this thing to. And he saw so much more in this brand than just as a game show.
Mm.
And so he helped elevate that and turn it into what, you guys see today, which is amazing. The fan base, granted, we don't get to see the fans that, we'd love to see right now, but we're going to get them back. And it's so different, and it's so fresh, and, and just to be able to say that you were a part of that transition, I mean, it's a hell of an accomplishment, I think, for everybody. And you go back and you look at the names that were part of that. You know, you had like Cesaro, you know, TJ. There was, you know, Natty would come down once in a while. Of course, you had, you know, Charlotte, Sasha. It's just so many great talents at Neville. Like, you just go on and on and on. And you see how much they've grown today.
Yeah.
And they're superstars. I mean, they're awesome, right? And so you were part of that, and that's so cool. You can look back and smile because you know that you are engraved in some piece of history.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know before we talked the Ascension, I mean, you did have a bit of a feud with Big E. I mean, what was it like working with Big E?
I love Etor. So when I wrestled Big E, Hunter came up to me and he was just like, hey, we want to, you know, get this thing kind of going with you too. And I was like, oh man, I was like, that'll be awesome. And, you know, E loved it. And I actually put on weight for that because I was like, I'm way too small to be wrestling Big E because, you know, on TV, he's big. He looks big, but in person, he's even bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, TV doesn't do that guy justice. When you see him in person, you're like, Jesus, that guy's just wide and thick.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of, he's just a lot of meat. You know what I mean? But it was great. You know, we had our little feud. You know, it lasted, you know, it wasn't very long. But, you know, you get to work somebody like that, someone you like and you appreciate. And you know, the company loves him. And it's just as a human being, though, he's just such a great, great motherfucker. You know what I mean? He's just a great dude. And that makes it even that much better. You know, you're not working with somebody that, you know, you're like, man, you know. I was like, man, Big E's great. I love this guy. He's awesome. He's a great human being. He's a great worker. How could I not love this? And if I'm not mistaken, he was champion at that time too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that was when the Big Five was over. He's like,
right.
five. Yeah. Yep.
I used to love that 5 count gimmick. It was I think King Kong Bundy used to do it as well back in the day.
Yeah.
I used to love that. It was so good, so good. But I know talking to the Ascension, I know Callum especially, some of the vignettes
oh my god,
just I mean,
incredible, man. Like my favorite vignette in NXT still to this day is the one of you and Kenneth Cameron on the buildings. Like, that was just such a cool visual.
Yeah.
I loved everything about that.
There was another one too that I really loved, where we were sitting in a white room and all these elements were coming by us as me and Kenneth Cameron were all dressed up in black and stuff. That was a special. That was special. I mean, it was cool. It was, you know, it was really different, and I think it caught a lot of eyes, and it was unique. And of course, you know, working with Tom, he's like my little brother, and it's and to be able to work with someone that I actually, you know, invite over my house and love being around, like it was like family, you know, working with him. It was awesome. It was incredible. Like, my whole family loves him. He was my best man at my wedding. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, and you know, that just kind of came into its own, I guess, element because, you know, we had help. We didn't really think of all this stuff. That was there was a gentleman by the name of Brandon Horgenschmeyer who helped with that, and he was the one who would produce it, add the effects and things like that. And Brandon was just a genius. And so, you know, I'd love to take some credit. I know Tom would love to take some credit, but at the end of the day, you know, Brandon and Dream were the ones that helped create that.
Well, they did an amazing job because it's one of those promos where I feel like even if you know nothing about the characters, you can watch that 30-second video and you already know everything about the gimmick. Like, you got that it was a dark gimmick, but you also got that it wasn't just your regular dark characters. You know, there was something about them, and I was like, these guys are cool as fuck.
I remember when it first aired, Callum was like, he texted me, or I was out with each other or something. He's like, Jamie, just watch this vignette. It was so exciting, and he put it on, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. I'm like,
it really set apart NXT from the main roster doing that kind of vignette, because you wouldn't see that on the main roster. And I feel like that's what made NXT stand out in those early days. They were doing things that didn't happen on the main roster, and it really did solidify it as its own brand.
Leo Kruger was a great example too.
Yeah.
You know, Leo Kruger was an amazing example, like the Hunter. You know what I mean? Like, it was there was just so many things. It was very raw, and very rough around the edges. It was just, you know, because, you know, you were so PG. You were taught to be so PG by watching most wrestling. And then Hunter, of course, you know, Hunter's from that Attitude Era.
Yeah.
And, you know, he likes that grit, being gritty and stuff. And that's what I think made it so cool, was that it wasn't unique. It was unique, but it was its own thing. It was characters, but it were believable, you know. And so, yeah, it was that was special working with him and doing those promos, and, you know, it was a lot of fun. We had a great time doing it.
Did you get a say in your theme music as well? Because that theme music is badass, man. I mean, that
worked out so many times to that theme song.
Which one? I had 3 of them when we were doing the Ascension thing. So.
Oh, really?
Was it?
It'd be the last one. The last one that I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah, the one with me and Vic.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's Rebellion. I think it's called Rebellion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
we love that song.
CFOs. Yeah.
It's like Callum said, mate, it's a workout song. You put your headphones on, you can work out to that one, man. It's
in 3 weeks you can go to a bar and play that song and start beating the hell out of everybody.
We'll do it for you. We'll do it.
I might just do that, yeah. We'll video
record
it as well.
for me, please.
Yeah.
We'll record it and send it your way, definitely. But,
yeah, the first time we heard that, I walked into the Performance Center, and a gentleman by the name of Ryan Katz came running up, and he was so excited. He's like, "You guys got to hear your new theme song." And I'm like, "What? We have a new theme song?" He's like, "Oh my God, it's so badass." He's like, "You got to listen to it." And so, you know, they've got big speakers in the PC, and so they played it, and the whole place was just playing that song. And I was sitting there, and I'm like, "Hey, Ryan, could you please play that again for me?" And he played it again. And, you know, Ryan's like, yeah, like doing this. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, damn, that's pretty badass. I really dig that song, man. You know, but we didn't pick that out. That was all Hunter. Hunter's the one that picked that out. It had nothing to do with us. And it just grew on us. And we're like, man, this thing is so badass. Like, the more we heard it, the more, you know, you're just like so into it. And it's great when it's really loud. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, dude, yeah. And obviously, I mean, it helps, I guess, with Triple H being a metalhead. I mean, he's a big metalhead, which is what I love of NXT as well, is that he's brought back, like in the Attitude Era, you had the Saliva and Drowning Pool. He's kind of brought that rock metal essence back as well, which I absolutely love.
Yeah. It was good. He's got what, you know, you look back and you just see what he's done and what he's accumulated with the brand itself. Like, I would say he's got pretty good taste. You know, he's done some pretty damn spectacular things.
he's not done too bad for himself, has he?
Yeah.
He ain't done too bad. But, you mentioned obviously Victor as well. I mean, how did obviously Kenneth Cameron left, Victor came in? How did that go about?
That was a vision that Hunter saw, and I was it. So when Kenneth departed, they brought me up to the main roster for 2 weeks. Just, I think partially because they just wanted me just to kind of, they felt kind of bad at the situation, and they wanted me to get some work, you know, just kind of try to help me out, I think, maybe a little bit, just, you know, get my head right, because I was really bummed out. And when I was up there, it was SmackDown, and it would have been my second week. Hunter came up to me, and Hunter was talking to me, and he said, you know, he's like, we're thinking about putting Victor with you. And we think it'd be a good match because visually we think it would look really good. And he's like, I can see it, you know, helping the both of you out. And he goes, and of course he told me, think about it. He goes, I think it would be good business. And that was all I had to hear, you know, because I'm a business guy. And so for me to hear that from my boss, I'm like, oh, it's a done deal.
Yeah.
So I text Vic immediately and I said, hey, Vic, we're doing a photo shoot when I fly in on Wednesday. Let's get prepped and ready. I text Ryan Katz, and I just, we all just kind of started formulating, throwing things together. Brandon was out there, and we just started shooting. It was that quick, that simple. The transition was fast, and it was smooth, and it was like, I don't even think I would have had to said anything. I think they were already there, ready. They just kind of knew, It didn't matter what the hell I thought, anyways. Big boss wants it, you give it to him.
Well, it worked out for the best though, because you and Vic had some great chemistry, like from the start.
Which is odd, because we had never tagged before. We had never worked. We've worked against each other,
right?
In FCW, but we had never tagged together, and so. Even to this day, we do shows now, and it's like, we, even through a pandemic, we didn't work for about, a year. Mm-hmm. Shows just started back up, and now we're working again. And it's like you just pick up where you left off. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
It's just like I can look at him and he can look at me, and it's like we know what we're thinking. It's very strange, but it's also really cool. We've made a lot of money together, and so. He's been a blessing in my life. My family loves him. My wife loves him. He just met my dad for the first time, which is crazy, right? Like about a month ago, my dad comes back because he wants to see his grandson, and he's just standing there and he's looking at Vic, and I'm like, what are you doing, Dad? And he's like, and Vic's just kind of getting ready, and he's like, I've never met your partner before, and I go, oh shit. I was like, you never met Vic? And he's like, and Vic looked at me, it was so funny. He's like, dude, we've never met before. And I go, oh man, I was like, I'm so sorry, you know what I mean? So he just met my dad for the first time about a month ago.
After all those years.
Right, yeah. I'm a shitty partner.
Hey, dude, as well, you had a great run in NXT, but I guess one of the other big benchmark moments in your career is you also got to compete at WrestleMania. And, one of those WrestleManias, maybe two, I actually got to see you because I was at WrestleMania 32, I believe. You was in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal on that one. So I think I saw you in a couple of WrestleManias. What was that like? Because even being there as a fan, it's one of the best experiences of my life. I can't imagine what it's like being a wrestler, having that WrestleMania moment.
Yeah. It all starts with access, being able to be intimate with the fans. That's where it all starts for sure.
Wait a minute. I met you at Access.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met you at
Access. I'm sorry. I hope I left a good impression on you.
Yeah, you did. I remember that. Yeah, I met so many people that weekend. It was incredible. But
you
thinking, yeah, man, I've got a picture with you. That's fucking awesome.
Oh man, that's awesome. I bet I looked a lot better then than I do now. No, but going back to Access, it's like that to me. That's the best part of the whole WrestleMania weekend because you get to become intimate with the fans, you get to talk to them, you get to speak with them and interact, and you go back to the TV hotels, and you got some that are there you get to talk to, and it's just really cool. But the experience of the whole entire WrestleMania weekend is just it's amazing because that's what you train for your whole life. Like you want that moment. You want to be on that card, regardless of where it's at, you want to be on it. That's the dream. And so I'll never forget walking out my first one. I want to say it was in New York. And I remember walking out and we get in the ring and I just remember, the fans it just looked like it was forever ago. Like it was just so far back. There was just hundreds of thousands of fans. It looked like, it's probably like 90,000 or 100. I don't know. It was ridiculous. And I just remember seeing all the flashlights going off or the phone lights going off, and the noise and the music so loud. And you get goosebumps when you think about it. But I remember getting in the ring and standing there and just kind of soaking it all in, because, some of the best advice ever given to me was anytime that you're able to go out and perform, to always stop and be in the moment, because you never know if it's ever going to be your last time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I always try to capitalize on things like that when they were that special. Is you stop, you look, you absorb it. And I remember thinking, holy shit, like all these years of training, and it's come down to this, like, this is incredible. And one of my close friends, Heath Miller, looked over to me and he goes, Ryan, hey, Ryan, because he's got that hillbilly accent we all love about him. And I looked over and I still didn't know what to say. And I'm just looking at it. And he goes, we're in WrestleMania, baby. And I'm like, yeah, we are. Yeah, this is great. And then I want to say, and the one I'm particularly thinking of, I remember the first one to go was, it would have been Henning, because he was doing the Hogan thing at that time.
Yeah.
And he got in the middle of the ring and he rips it off. The place went nuts, and we all picked him up, and as we're getting ready to throw him out, he goes, see you later, boys. I remember just laughing my ass off, man. But it's like moments like that where you're just like, God, man, like, you just never forget that kind of stuff, and you take it to your grave. It's so cool.
Did you get, obviously, after the Rumble, the Battle Royale, sorry, did you get to experience, did you come out into the crowd? I mean, a lot of guys come out into the crowd and watch some of the matches, don't they? And, I mean, did you get to do that as well?
Yeah. No, I did. I got to watch a lot of stuff, because you want to, you want to see as much of it as possible live.
Yeah.
Everybody can watch it on TV, but not everybody gets to watch it live. You being there, you understand it. It's just such a different feeling than watching it on a pay-per-view at home. There's no feeling like it. The energy, you can't even put into words what it's like.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
and you don't, and it's addicting. It's like a drug too, because you want to just keep it with you.
I mean, I see, obviously watch it on the TV, but I mean, something like you say, like getting to see the Undertaker's entrance at WrestleMania. I mean, that must be like goosebumps.
Yeah. So that was incredible. So the night before, this was in New York, and I remember being freezing cold. Oh, it was freezing cold. And it was a bunch of us, and we all had to put those real weird suits on, and we were just doing rehearsal, and the guys were like, yeah, Taker's not going to be here tonight, so we have to pretend like Taker's there. And we're like, well, okay, cool. But, I remember it was me, and right across from me was Brody. Vic was right behind me. Somewhere Zane was around there. Leo Kruger was down there. Miro was there. And I just remember we're all sitting there like, this is insane. And they're just, we're practicing as we're doing it. Of course, Taker, he's not there. Well, so the next day we load up underneath the ramp, and Taker has not been seen that whole day. At least we all didn't see him. So we're like, oh man, like, is he even gonna be here? And we're all there. They're loading up the smoke and everything. You're down there. You're hacking your damn brains out, and you're like, man, this is crazy. But God, we had not seen Taker all day, and so there was this light, this big ass. It looked like a Batman light, one of those big ass lights.
Yeah.
That shined up, and all of a sudden they turned that light on. That light wasn't there prior. When we were going through rehearsal the night before, but they turned this damn light on, and then all of a sudden you see this shadow step in front of it.
Wow.
And I remember looking at Brody. I was like, holy shit, this is so cool. And it's just the dead man standing there, and it was just like real life, like the way you see him on TV was how we got to be a part of that, except obviously much closer. And you just watch him pass real slow, and you're just like, holy shit, this is so cool. And then as he came out, it was we were like going, we were going to reach, and you could see just, oh my God, it was like you were looking at the night sky and there's all these stars and it's just cameras going off. And I get goosebumps, and we were like, we were all fanboying out, like, because I don't care if you're in the business or if you're not, you love that guy. He's just so cool. And so that experience, it's like I can still see it today, is probably one of those experiences I'll never fucking forget. Even if I get 100 concussions, I just don't think I'll still forget that, because it just sticks out to me that much.
Yeah, he's a big part of, obviously, I've been a fan since, 30 plus years, and he's a big part of my fandom, and it's my connection with my dad as well, because my dad, who's almost 68, if he comes and visits me and I've got wrestling on, if he hears that gong, he's not leaving till he's watched The Undertaker. We have that connection through The Undertaker, and it's a special bond. Yes,
yeah, it is. There's nothing like family and wrestling, man. It's there's just something that's magical about that, about watching wrestling with your family. Like, that was the reason why I got into it, because much like you, we used to get the pay-per-views when it was only 4 pay-per-views, if you recall.
Yeah.
There would only be 4 pay-per-views and not one every month. So it was special when pay-per-views happened, and then you would rent it, and then it'd be big family get-togethers, and it was cousins and uncles and aunts and cousins fighting over who was going to win the matches. And I always remember WrestleMania 6 when it was Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan, because my family was big Hulk Hogan fans, and I loved Hulk Hogan. He was my hero.
Yeah.
But when the Ultimate Warrior came out, there was something about that look, that presentation, that I was just in love with. I was like, this guy's so cool. He's shredded. He's jacked. Like, my God, look at him. He looks like a whole different person.
Yeah.
And so, of course, me and my cousins, we all got into fist fights over it. But I was, at the end of the day, damn it, Ultimate Warrior, he won, and I felt good about making my decision.
Yeah,
I was the same, man. Wrestling.
I was the same. My cousins, my auntie, and my uncle. I used to go and have sleepovers there. Watching. We used to go over for the Royal Rumble and all, like, guess who's going to win and stuff. And it was awesome, man. You can't beat it, like you said. They're just magic moments, and that's the beauty of wrestling.
Wrestling brings families together, boys.
Hell yeah, man.
Absolutely does.
Hell yeah.
And
I've got to ask you. Go on. You're right.
All right. So while we're still loosely on the subject, I found that picture of us, Con, and I can't stress how cool this picture was for us, because we just got these Southpaw Wrestling t-shirts.
Oh my God, is that what we're doing, the surfer pose? I knew it. I remember.
Dude, that was honestly one of the coolest pictures we got that entire weekend, because you saw us in the crowd first and you were pointing at the t-shirts. We came up and we did the surf pose, and afterwards we were like, how fucking cool was that?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I even remember that. That's
amazing.
Nuts, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, man, that made our day.
Well, I'll tell you what, we didn't do that with a lot of people either, even when they had Southpaw shirts. But the second you said Southpaw, I knew immediately, because I was like, I remember that moment.
That's cool, man. That's so cool.
Yeah. That's wild.
And I'll say it again. See, it's the beauty of wrestling. It's the beauty of wrestling. It's a wonderful thing. I have to ask you as well, obviously, NXT, then the call-up. What was that experience like? Because, you see it nowadays, there's a lot of guys like Andrade asking for his release, Black. Do you think people are getting called up too soon? And did you think that was the same with you?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily getting called up too soon, because clearly we could work. The problem was that they didn't have a direction for us.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
So that's a lot to blame on the writing staff, but now it seems that's going on is when they don't have stuff, people are requesting to go back.
Yeah.
And some of them are getting granted and some of them aren't. So now they get a little bit of an opportunity. One person I like to mention, because, I've worked with her a lot. I've trained with her some down here, is Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah.
And, she, I think the world of that lady. And she's a badass, number one. I mean, she's a shoot badass.
Yeah.
But she, like, her position, she didn't feel too, she'd worked all these years to be this certain persona, and it just wasn't for her. And so she politely, and professionally, went back to NXT. And that wasn't an option at the time with a lot of people. Once you were there, you were there. We would try to go back and do some stints here and there, but it just wasn't in our cards for that. But it's crazy because it's hard to kind of say, the transition. What I like what they're doing now is they're letting the guys be who they are. I know that when we came up specifically, there was a major drastic change to who we were. And the same went for Neville as well. They were trying to make him a superhero.
Yeah.
And I think it was just such a weird period through that time because we lost Leo Kruger into Adam Rose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was just a very strange period to get called up. And you either sank or you swam, or you know what I mean? That was all there was to it, when it came to that. And the beauty, here's what I say, and I know this is a fact. If we didn't want to do it, well, guess what? You're going to have two other guys who are ready to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
you either get up there because that's the goal, is making it to the main roster at the time, or you could get stuck back down in NXT. And truth be told, like, you don't know what's going to happen during that time. We had already hit our ceiling there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you go from NXT to SmackDown to Raw. What's it like, that transition as well? I mean, is Vince very hands-on with you as well?
God, it's hard to say. He was. I don't even know if he was. That's the crazy thing. Road Dogg was very hands-on with us. And all those promos and things that we cut, the whole "Welcome to the Wasteland." That was just something that we had to come up with. There wasn't really. It's not that I'm trying to sound bad about it, but there wasn't. Like, we want to get these guys out. They're good. They know how to work. Let's get them up there. Here's what we want you guys to look like. We have no promos for you, but we need you guys to come up with promos. You know what I mean? And so, those first three promos that we did before our debut, we had to do sitting and catering, getting prepared.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, and it's okay. It's not a bad thing. It's just there wasn't a lot of direction when we came up. It was just, we want to bring you guys in as like these 80s / people that are, going to be basically shitting on these older guys. And, and that was kind of the gist of it. And you just kind of rolled with the punches and, to see where it went. And you saw what happened. It started off pretty rocky. Then it turned out okay. And then it was purgatory. And then next thing you know, we're on Fashion Files.
Did you enjoy Fashion Files? Did you enjoy Fashion Files, though? Because that entertained the hell out of me.
Fucking loved it.
Yes.
Loved it because we got to show a different side of us.
Yeah.
Like, people always, they got to see how stupid and funny we could be if we wanted to be. And, working with Breeze and Fandango, like, God, man, like, the four of us have known each other for so long, and everyone was just creatively throwing in ideas. We had a couple writers who were excited about doing this, and we were excited, and, we're just having fun, man. And it made for a great time. And I think, from a fan's perspective, and I could be wrong, but I think they could see that we were having fun, which made them internally have fun.
Yeah, we loved it. It was the highlight of SmackDown every week for me. That was what I was looking forward to. Was that it was
it was the most discussed segment on the internet for months. Like, there was people just tuning in to SmackDown to see the Fashion Files, and like there was a really good story with it too. It wasn't just like a comedy segment. It was funny, but there was a really good story with it too. And
what was your favorite? I have to ask.
Oh, there was who was it? There was Fandango and Tyler Breeze who were trying to find out. It was the one with the Usos. Who do you remember when they had that like Kanban board and they're like trying to find out who Jey Uso's partner was or something? And there was just so many quotable moments in that, and honestly, love it.
It's so good though.
Yeah, it had no right to be that good, but it did.
It was. I mean, I think you got to meet Fandango as well, didn't you, Callum?
Oh yeah, that same day, we was walking next to Tyler Breeze and Fandango, who were doing a signing. Fandango just stands up, comes running through the queue of people, jumps over the barrier to us, and says, "Can I get a picture with you for my Instagram?" And I was like,
Southpaw shirt?
Yeah, with the Southpaw shirt.
Yeah.
And he was like, he got a picture of us, put it on his Instagram, and he was like, "Where did he get that T-shirt?" And I was like, "The Access store?" Like, and he was like, "Oh, I've not seen those yet. How much are they?" And I was like, "Do you not just get one for free?" And he was like, "No, I'm gonna go buy one now." So I don't know if he did, but we had a Southpaw T-shirt before Fandango did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not surprised. You know, some of the time, like even when our Ascension shirts first came out, we had no idea. We saw one of the referees walk in with it on, and we're like, "Where in the hell did you get that?" Like, "Oh, they're selling them out there," and we're like, "Wait, what?" Like, we didn't even know we had shirts. So it doesn't surprise me, you know.
That's amazing.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
Honestly, that day at Access was the best day we had. WrestleMania was cool, but the lead up to Mania is sometimes better for the fans. And Access that day, it was just like it just kept getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
You know, like we got a picture of Dango, we got the awesome picture of you, and every single picture we got was like some of my fondest memories are from that holiday, and I can't wait to do it again.
And God bless his soul, you got one with Brody Lee as well.
I did. Yeah.
I did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you, man. Access is, you know, it's not just WrestleMania. I think Access is like the starting point of it all. It's just even the wrestlers are so excited with Access because, you know, you get to really know and meet who they really are. It's really cool. You know, and then who knows, maybe you're lucky one night you're out at a bar and oops, there's somebody, one of the wrestlers over there, and next thing you know, you're drinking with them. You know, you just never know.
I did that with Mojo Rawley. I was out at a pub after Mania 33.
Mojo's notorious for burning cities down.
He came up to me and he was just like, "Do you want some rum?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I think he was going to buy me a drink. And he just tilted my head back and poured some rum down my throat. And I was like, "All right."
You gotta
I didn't expect
Moji.
that.
Yeah.
Such cool moments, man.
Is Mojo really that hype then, Connor? Is that really him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was not a word. He is that awesome. He is that awesome.
Well,
I remember when we first met him. We were in the locker rooms, and he's just smiling and excited, and he's like, "Yeah, baby, yeah," like that. And I'm just like, I looked at Vic, and I'm like, how long do you think it's gonna last before that shit breaks? You know, because I thought he was just gonna turn depressed and angry, and to this day, he's just such a good person. He's fun to be around. He throws some great parties. He is a blast, and you got to witness. You got to witness just an inkling of that, and that's really him. He's that awesome.
That's cool. I mean, I did get to have a drink with the Big Show on a UK tour, but that's I didn't get rum poured down my throat by Mojo Rawley, but yeah.
But still, you had Big Show. That's just as cool.
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
I was at a show in the UK on the UK tour. I'm going back about 10 years ago now, and I didn't realise I just happened to be in the same hotel as the Raw roster. And after the show, I'm in the bar with my friend and her husband having a drink. And the Big Show walks in and literally just sits at the table next to us with some fans and me and my friends. And we just start telling stories and sharing beers. And he's the life and soul of that room. He was just telling jokes all night. And yeah, I got a beer with the Big Show.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's fucking awesome, man. That's so cool.
That's it, man. It's them moments. But he's so funny as well. And he was just cracking jokes left, right, and centre. He was on form all night.
Yeah. You better laugh.
Yes. Oh, God. I got a picture with him as well, and I literally go up to his ribcage. I mean, it's just... Yeah.
He's a big, large, very large human being, but very, very sweet.
Yes, it was lovely, yeah. You see the picture, and he looks like he's really miserable and pissed off, but it was like the nicest, funniest guy you could ever meet. He was an absolute sweetheart. He really was.
Yeah.
Before we obviously start to wrap up and stuff, though, I mean, obviously you and Victor, you're still teaming, you're still on the go, ARW, companies like that.
Yeah.
How's it going with that? And I mean, could we see you and Victor come over to the UK at some point when the world opens up?
Well, I'll tell you what, I would love to get back out to the UK. I really, really enjoy the UK a lot. I love the fans out there because I love their personalities out in the UK. I've got the same sarcasm as they do, which I love. It's very dry and mean.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I love it, you know. I would love to go out there. It's during these times, it's so weird, right? Like, there just doesn't seem like there's any country other than us that might be open. I don't even know if you can get over to this country. That's the crazy thing, you know. I don't even know how that goes.
I don't think we can at the minute.
No, we can't.
It just seems like nothing's opened up, you know, which is a shame, you know. I really, because you guys don't even do indie shows out there, do you?
No, well,
no, we haven't had a show for a year.
Yeah, we haven't had a show for a year, like Jamie said. But when the shows are running, we have shows pretty much every day now. We've got a really good scene, but we haven't had any show in a year. So
yeah, March last year was our last show. It's
yeah, that stinks. That my heart hurts for you guys. That stinks, man. You know, but I'll tell you what, if the UK does, if they do open up and we do get out there, I definitely hope to have a beer with you boys for sure.
I was gonna say, you know what, man, I don't usually drink, but I would have a beer with you because.
Well, you can have a cigar with me. How about that?
I'll have a cigar with you. We'll do that, yeah.
Yeah.
My treat.
And I'll have a cigar and a beer with you. There we go.
All right.
And a little bit of whiskey.
Now we're talking my language. Yes, we will have some whiskey as well, man. We will. But Connor, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Before we go, let everyone know where they can find you. Any merchandise to plug, social media.
Yeah, you can. You can always find my social media. Big_con1. Look for the verifications. I keep it simple. It's the same for my Twitter and my Instagram. I like simple. Simple's easy.
Yes.
You know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Any merchandise as well to plug?
Well, we got some stuff at Pro Wrestling Tees. We're working on a few other things. We've got GrudgeMatchBrand.com. You can go there. Cool. We're actually. I just spoke with a gentleman. You guys have like merchant. I'll have to look at that and get you guys that information. But it's like merchant brand or something like that that's going to be opening up out there if it hasn't already done so.
Right.
All
right. So it's a UK platform that's just like Pro Wrestling Tees, basically.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you guys not only will be able to get Awakening T-shirts, but there's going to be a lot of other stuff that's out there too as well, which I feel like you guys don't have access to a lot of stuff as well either, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that stinks too. That's not cool, man.
Well, best believe once the Awakening T-shirts are ready for us to get, we'll have them. I'll have it up there with my Southpaw T-shirt, my Pride and Joy.
Oh, we got to take a photo with that one too.
Yeah, we do. We've got to recreate the photo.
That's awesome.
Man. Awesome. But Connor, thank you so much, man. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'd love to do it again sometime, man. We really would.
Absolutely. We'll have to get Vic on this bad boy too one of these days, huh?
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. We'll get you both, man. We'll do that, definitely.
Absolutely.
But for now, Connor, thank you so much, man.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate shooting the shit with you boys. It's awesome. And thank you for the memories.
Yeah, man. Likewise.